Picture this. You are walking silently through the candlelit corridors of a grand 17th century French chateau. The walls, draped in deep crimson tapestries, absorb the soft echoes of your footsteps, and the scent of burning tallow mingles with the faint perfume of roses from the gardens outside. Imagine the chill of the marble floor under your bare feet as you pass a carved wooden door slightly ajar. Behind it, a secret world unfolds, one hidden from the eyes of courtiers and kings alike. You have been summoned, not to dine in the halls of nobles, not to witness a royal ceremony, but to inhabit the quiet, intimate, and dangerous life of a noblewoman's secret lover. Before we begin, tell me, where are you listening from tonight? Is it the calm of your bedroom or the soft dim of a late evening? If you love these quiet journeys through history, subscribe to Whispers of History, where every palace, every secret, and every heartbeat of the past comes alive. Imagine your mistress, a lady of high rank, moving through her private chambers with the grace and authority of someone accustomed to control over all she surveys. Her gown is silk and velvet, emerald green catching the firelight with every motion. You feel the weight of her gaze, a mixture of command and something softer, directed only at you. Every whispered word, every fleeting touch must be measured, deliberate, because the walls themselves have ears. Courtiers, servants, and even her family could ruin both her reputation and yours if a secret were discovered. Yet within this constrained intimacy, a private world blossoms, hidden from the public eye. The life of a noblewoman's lover is a constant negotiation between pleasure and discretion. You learn to read subtle cues, a hand extended in private, a glance lingering across a dinner table, the way a letter is folded and passed when no one is watching. History shows that women of power often indulge these attachments, not only for desire, but for counsel, companionship, or the comfort of someone who existed solely within their private sphere. Imagine sitting at her side in the gardens, the soft rustle of her gown mingling with the whispering wind through trimmed hedges. Here, conversation flows freely, yet always under the shadow of secrecy. Consider the courts of France during the reign of Louis XIV. The women of the aristocracy were highly educated, commanding, and politically influential. A lover's role could range from confidant to intimate companion, from secret advisor to silent observer. Your world is constrained by rules unspoken but strictly enforced. You are present yet invisible, intimate yet untouchable, outside her trust. Picture the galleries of Versailles, golden sunlight spilling across marble floors, tapestries depicting battles and legends, and you walking quietly beside her, understanding the weight of her position and the fragility of your own existence. There is a constant undercurrent of danger. Letters must be hidden beneath cushions, whispered messages carried by discreet servants, and every interaction must be weighed against the possibility of exposure. The famous incident of Madame de Montespan, mistress to Louis XIV, illustrates this delicate balance. Her lovers were drawn not only into her passion, but also into political intrigues that shaped France. Imagine witnessing her charm, her wit, and her subtle manipulations, all while knowing that the wrong glance or word could lead to scandal, banishment, or worse. Your life becomes entwined with hers, yet always on the edge of being erased from history. In quieter moments, there is solace. Perhaps you stroll through the palace gardens at dawn, dew sparkling on manicured lawns, birds stirring in the hedges, and the faint scent of orange blossoms drifting in the air. These stolen hours are your sanctuary, where conversation, laughter, and fleeting touches are unobserved. History often records these moments only in letters, diaries, or faint rumors, but for you, they are vivid, alive, and deeply felt. Imagine tracing the intricate embroidery on her gown as she confides her fears or her secret desires, each word a bridge between two worlds that can never fully meet in the daylight of society. Yet even intimacy is political. The noblewoman's favor carries influence. Her lovers can rise or fall based on her moods, her alliances, and the shifting tides of court intrigue. Consider Elizabeth I's court, where a secret confidant could subtly guide decisions or become a pawn in the complex game of diplomacy. You are not merely a companion, you are entwined with power itself, the unseen current flowing beneath the visible pageantry of court life. Every whispered suggestion, every glance could ripple outward, affecting marriages, alliances, and the fates of kingdoms. In the shadows of her chambers, evenings stretch with the quiet drama of unspoken understanding. Candlelight flickers on the walls, casting shadows that seem almost alive, as if the palace itself watches your secret world. You hear the distant echo of footsteps in marble corridors, the soft clatter of dishes from the kitchens, the muted laughter of servants unaware of your hidden presence. In these moments, history feels intimate, not as battles or crowns, but as hearts beating in secrecy, decisions made in whispers, and lives that are lived quietly beneath the eyes of the world. Consider also the famous tales of Madame de Pompadour in the 18th century, whose lovers were not only intimate companions, but also advisors and confidants in the affairs of state. You feel the weight of responsibility and trust. A glance misread could ruin both her and yourself, yet each careful interaction strengthens your bond. Imagine the evenings spent discussing art, literature, or politics, the soft rustle of her skirts as she moves to light a candle, the scent of lavender drifting through her private study. These sensory details anchor you in history while maintaining a soothing, immersive rhythm, perfect for quiet reflection before sleep. As the night deepens, the palace falls silent. Only your whispered exchanges remain, delicate threads of human connection in a world dominated by rank, protocol, and power. The thrill of intimacy, the danger of exposure, and the quiet knowledge of shared secrets create a rhythm that is both exhilarating and serene. Each day, you navigate corridors of power, gardens of reflection, and chambers of privacy, living history from the perspective of one who sees but must not be seen. And now, as you feel the calm sweep over you, imagine closing your eyes in the quiet of your room, carrying with you the soft glow of candlelight, the rustle of silk, the scent of roses and tallow, and the delicate tension of history lived in whispers. Being a noblewoman's secret lover was a life of hidden passion, subtle influence, and intimate knowledge of a world few would ever see. In your dreams, you walk those halls, hear the soft murmurs of courts past, and sense the heartbeat of history, soft, steady, and endlessly captivating.
As the moonlight filters softly through the tall windows of the chateau, imagine following her into a smaller, private gallery. The room smells faintly of wax and aged wood, lined with oil paintings depicting ancestors whose gazes seem to follow every movement. Here, behind heavy velvet curtains, the world beyond the palace fades. You feel the thrill of walking through these secluded spaces, aware that every shadow could conceal a secret, yet also knowing that within these walls, you are part of something extraordinary, the private life of a noblewoman. In France, during the reign of Louis XIV, noblewomen often held immense power within their households and private chambers, influencing marriages, alliances, and even political decisions. Your presence as a secret lover is not just about intimacy, it is also about trust, discretion, and subtle counsel. Imagine standing near her writing desk, watching as she folds a letter with care, penning words that may alter the course of a court intrigue. She trusts you to understand, to be silent, to share her confidences without ever speaking aloud to the world. Every gesture, every glance carries significance, teaching you a language of nuance and subtlety known only to those who inhabit this hidden realm. Think of Madame de Montespan, whose charm and wit captivated the Sun King himself. Her lovers moved through her apartments and gardens, partaking in private dinners and quiet conversations, often influencing matters of court behind closed doors. You, as one of these secret companions, must learn the rhythms of power, when to speak, when to listen, when a smile conveys more than words ever could. In this quiet, your senses are sharpened. You notice the texture of silk, the faint scent of her perfume, the pattern of moonlight on polished marble, and the soft sound of her laughter echoing through empty corridors. Even simple actions carry weight. Imagine walking with her through the manicured gardens at twilight, dampening the cobblestones beneath your feet. Every touch must be cautious, measured, and meaningful. You learn quickly that in these private worlds, gestures are amplified. A hand brushed across a sleeve can convey comfort, encouragement, or secret understanding. History shows us that these delicate exchanges were often recorded only in whispered accounts or personal letters. Yet they shaped the lives of the powerful in ways that the public never saw. there is also the ever-present tension of discovery. Courtiers, servants, and even other members of the nobility move invisibly through these halls, and one careless glance could ruin you both. You imagine the thrill of passing notes under the guise of ordinary conversation, the careful placement of letters beneath cushions, and the fleeting moments of conversation that pass almost unnoticed. These hidden rituals form the backbone of your life in this intimate, secretive world. Consider Madame de Pompadour, whose influence extended far beyond her personal relationships. Her lovers were often key advisors, silently shaping policies, cultural patronage, and diplomacy while maintaining a careful facade. You understand, as her confidant, that every word you utter and every decision you observe may have consequences reaching far beyond the walls of her private chambers. The delicate balance between desire, discretion, and influence becomes the defining rhythm of your days and nights. In the stillness of her private library, surrounded by leather-bound volumes and the faint glow of a single candle, you witness her passion for knowledge. History tells us that noblewomen prized intellect and refinement, and you, as her secret companion, are often drawn into this world of subtle learning and cultural engagement. You can almost feel the energy of conversation as she discusses philosophy, literature, or political strategy, and the soft scratch of her quill as she writes her thoughts into carefully folded letters. Yet even in these moments of calm, danger is never far away. You hear the faint echo of footsteps in the corridor, the rustle of a curtain in the night, and the soft murmur of servants unaware of your presence. Each heartbeat reminds you of the precariousness of your role. A secret lover is privileged, but always under threat of exposure. And still, within this delicate tension, there is intimacy, trust, and connection, moments of beauty that few in history ever experienced, captured only in the careful whispers of letters and memoirs. As the night deepens, you find yourself drawn to the warmth of her private chamber once more. The soft flicker of candlelight highlights the intricate patterns of her gown, the gentle curve of her expression, and the quiet dignity that comes with power and secrecy. Here, in these hushed moments, history unfolds not in grand battles or political decrees, but in the subtle dance of human emotion, longing, trust, fear, and quiet joy intertwined. Each glance, each whispered word, becomes part of a story that will linger long after the palace falls silent and the candles burn low. Imagine, as you settle into a quiet corner of her chamber, the feeling of connection and shared secret shaping both your lives. The history of noblewomen's secret lovers is one of delicate intimacy, subtle influence, and moments of profound beauty hidden from the public eye. In the soft shadows of her private world, you experience history not as a distant tale, but as a living, breathing reality, calm, immersive, and endlessly fascinating as you drift slowly toward sleep. Now, imagine the sun rising over the chateau, casting long golden beams through tall windows and illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. You follow her discreetly into the morning salons, where servants move quietly, arranging silver trays and fresh flowers. Today is no ordinary day. History remembers it only in fragments, but for you, it unfolds in vivid detail. The day when a secret affection would brush too closely against the gaze of the world. It is a delicate dance between desire and discretion, and every movement, every word, must be measured. Your mistress, a woman of high rank and keen intelligence, greets you with the faintest smile, and you feel the weight of her trust. Imagine walking beside her as she reviews letters from distant relatives and allies, knowing that some contain news that could alter her standing at court. Being a noblewoman's secret lover is not merely about intimacy. It is about understanding the subtleties of influence. You sense her mind working constantly, calculating, balancing, anticipating, and within this calculated world, your role is both fragile and vital. Consider a famous incident from the court of Versailles in the 17th century, when Madame de Montespan, Louis XIV's most celebrated mistress, faced the intricate politics of love and power. Imagine yourself present in the secluded boudoir where she convenes with her confidants. You feel the tension in the room, the risk of being overheard, the necessity of silence, and the subtle choreography of human emotion and political maneuvering. Her lovers, like you, had to navigate these unseen currents with care, aware that a single misstep could provoke scandal, jealousy, or even exile. Picture the letters exchanged in secrecy, notes folded, hidden beneath cushions, or tucked into book spines, carrying messages that could ignite passion or provide counsel. You watch as she pens carefully chosen words, knowing that each phrase carries weight, both emotionally and politically. You, as the recipient of these confidences, are drawn into her world in a way that outsiders could never comprehend. Every glance, every whispered sentence, binds you to history itself, making you both witness and participant in events that shape kingdoms. The gardens, meticulously arranged with hedges, fountains, and statues, become a private stage for these interactions. Imagine walking with her along the gravel paths, the soft crunch underfoot, the scent of jasmine and roses in the morning air. Here, she speaks freely, and you listen, absorbing not only her words, but the subtle shifts in mood, the nuances of her gestures, the weight of decisions that may affect lives far beyond the palace walls. These stolen hours are your sanctuary, where the pulse of history beats quietly yet intensely, connecting desire, trust, and influence. Even simple moments carry profound significance. Imagine the quiet exchange of a glance during a grand banquet, the subtle touch of a hand beneath a table, or a whispered joke in a crowded room. History often records only the grandeur of courts, the names of kings and queens, but the delicate web of private interactions, the secret alliances, affections, and confidences rarely documented. And yet, for you, these moments are vivid, alive, and enduring. In the evenings, when the palace is draped in shadows and only the flicker of candlelight animates the walls, you find yourself in her chambers once more. The soft rustle of her silk gown, the faint perfume lingering in the air, the gentle murmur of voices through the corridors create a cocoon of intimacy. In this quiet, you witness the humanity behind titles and power, a woman navigating her desires and duties, a secret lover balancing loyalty and longing. The line between history and personal experience blurs, making every heartbeat, every breath, a thread in the tapestry of the past. Imagine the famous whispers of court gossip, which history preserves only in fragments. You hear about the intrigues surrounding Madame de Pompadour's lovers, the subtle influence they wielded, and the delicate balance they maintained between devotion and discretion. As her confidant, you are part of this delicate dance, understanding the nuances of power, desire, and survival. The tension is ever present, yet the moments of connection, the shared laughter, the private conversation, the gentle comfort bring a quiet joy that resonates through the centuries. Even in moments of calm, danger lingers. A servant's misstep, a curious glance from a courtier, or a misinterpreted letter could unravel everything. You learn patience, observation, and the art of subtlety. Every interaction is layered. A smile conceals strategy, a touch conveys understanding, a glance speaks volumes. These are the unrecorded currents of history, flowing quietly beneath the pomp and ceremony of court life. As night falls again, imagine sitting beside her in the glow of a single candle, listening to the distant echoes of the palace settling into silence. You feel the soft weight of her hand, the delicate rhythm of whispered confidences, and the intimate knowledge that this connection exists in a world largely hidden from history's records. Being a noblewoman's secret lover is a life of intimacy, trust, subtle influence, and quiet danger, wrapped in the beauty of private moments that few ever witness. And now, as the quiet deepens, imagine yourself leaving her chambers. The scent of roses and wax lingering, the moonlight spilling across polished marble, and the echo of history's whispers guiding you gently towards sleep. You carry with you the secret rhythms of power, affection, and discretion alive in your mind, soft and calming, as you drift slowly into dreams filled with the quiet pulse of a world lived behind closed doors. The night deepens, and the chateau grows still, its corridors and chambers bathed in the gentle glow of candlelight. Imagine walking silently behind your mistress as she moves through her private apartments, each step deliberate, each gesture measured. You feel the quiet weight of history around you, the grand tapestry of aristocratic life, woven from power, secrecy, and desire. Tonight, the events that unfold will leave their mark, not on the pages of official records, but on the delicate, hidden threads of personal history you inhabit. Consider a moment from the life of Madame de Montespan, whispers of jealousy, rivalries, and fleeting alliances shaping the quiet corridors of Versailles. You, as one of her trusted companions, sensed the tension in the air, subtle but tangible. The court is a living organism, each courtesan, servant, and noblewoman a part of its intricate network. One misplaced glance or overheard word could unravel the delicate balance of favor and affection that governs every intimate relationship. And yet, amid this tension, the quiet intimacy you share with her endures, a secret sanctuary of trust and connection. Imagine sitting together in a small boudoir, the room fragrant with rosewater and the faint burn of tallow candles. She speaks softly, confiding fears, desires, and subtle observations about the people and events that shape her world. Your role is to listen, to understand, to support, and occasionally, to guide. History shows that secret lovers often became silent witnesses to pivotal moments, letters folded beneath cushions, advice whispered in shadows, glances exchanged that could shift alliances. Your presence is both invisible and vital, shaping the course of private and public lives alike. As the evening stretches, the chateau seems suspended in time. You wander through the gardens with her, dew soaking your shoes and the scent of orange blossoms drifting in the air. Every footstep is cautious, every gesture discreet, yet the connection between you and your mistress deepens. The delicate interplay of intimacy and discretion is both thrilling and grounding. It teaches patience, subtlety, and the quiet power of trust. Imagine tracing the embroidery on her gown as she recounts events from courts, each story revealing the layers of influence and vulnerability that define a noblewoman's life. Even the smallest actions carry weight. A letter tucked behind a cushion, a glance exchanged at a grand banquet, a whispered word in a quiet corridor ripple outward in subtle yet profound ways. Your life as her secret lover is defined by these small, careful choices, each a thread in the fabric of history that few will ever know. Yet the richness of these moments, the laughter, the shared confidences, the fleeting comforts creates a deep, lasting resonance that survives in the memory of the past. Picture now the quiet aftermath of a long day in the palace. She retires to her chambers, and you remain nearby, a silent presence in the shadowed corners of her world. The faint glow of candles illuminates the intricate carvings on the walls, the soft folds of her silk gown, and the gentle expression on her face as she settles into solitude. You reflect on the delicate balance of power, affection, and secrecy that defines this life. History records the grandeur of courts, the names of kings and queens, but the hidden threads, the secret lovers, confidants, and whispered counsel remain, largely unseen, yet infinitely significant. As sleep approaches, imagine leaving the chamber and walking through the quiet corridors once more. The soft rustle of tapestries, the distant echo of footsteps, and the faint perfume of flowers create a cocoon of serenity. You carry with you the hidden rhythms of court life, the subtle power of intimacy, and the quiet beauty of trust lived in secrecy. These are the whispers of history, delicate and enduring, flowing through time, guiding you gently toward rest. And now, as your eyes grow heavy and the chateau fades into moonlit shadows, imagine the calm satisfaction of having witnessed a private world, a world of secret lovers, delicate alliances, and intimate confidences that shaped history in ways often unseen. Let the scents, sounds, and subtle movements of this hidden life linger in your mind, soothing and tranquil as you drift fully into sleep. The life of a noblewoman's secret lover was one of quiet intrigue, delicate trust, and profound connection, alive only in the soft, steady heartbeat of history itself.